Okay.
Good morning, everyone. This is Joy Rosa with Earthworks Acupuncture, and we're back this week with Dr. Zhenbo Li of Lotus Acupuncture in Vancouver, Washington. Good morning, Dr. Li.
Good morning.
This morning, we're going to be talking all things liver disease, and in TCM, the liver pathology, physiology, and functions of the channel, as well as the organ and the organ pair, the gallbladder. I really love the gallbladder. So if we could, Dr. Li, just start us off a little bit with the theory about, liver function and gallbladder. I will pull up a 5-element chart.
So first, let's talk a little bit about Chinese medicine theory of the liver. Liver is a very important organ in Chinese medicine. And from 5-element perspective, it's wood. Mm-hmm. It's related with spring and wind. Mm-hmm. This is a very important element in the 5-element theory. We can look at the picture. You look at the wood and earth. Mm-hmm. Their relationship is wood acts on earth. Mm-hmm. Earth are the organs of spleen and stomach. Mm-hmm. Chinese medicine is a 5-zang organ central system. So we mainly talk about zang organ. So liver and spleen. It's very interesting to see in Chinese medicine when people get liver diseases. Mm-hmm. And it's not just liver has a problem. You can see their digestive system, mm-hmm. their spleen, their stomach have problem. We'll talk that later. The liver is a very important organ in the body, and the liver is the organ just like spring, like the spring wind, mm-hmm. Make the qi of the body is moving normally, smoothly. If the liver has a problem, and the liver qi will be stagnated. Mm-hmm. The liver qi is not moving well. And then the liver qi stagnation. And for a while, it can cause liver stagnated heat. Mm-hmm. And the liver is a wound. This organ, if we matched with the mood or emotional condition, it's anger. Mm-hmm. So think about anger. When people are angry, they're just like exploded like fire.
Right.
So we call that liver fire. Mm-hmm. You know, people have liver fire. The fire has a tendency goes up. Mm-hmm. So the energy, the qi and the fire goes up. The face is red, eyes red, angry. This is the liver fire. Mm-hmm. So the liver is very important to make the qi moving normal, smoothly in the body. And the liver, if the liver is happier and your qi moving normal, your mood be good. Mm-hmm. If you have liver problem, your mood, you're angry, sometimes depression because of liver qi stagnation. Mm-hmm. Another function of the liver is the liver stores blood. Mm-hmm. So I think Western medicine still considered the similar, so the liver is organ, a lot of blood stay there.
Yeah.
And Chinese medicine consider the liver blood is important, especially related with any blood problem. Mm-hmm. So blood deficiency, blood stagnation, and gynecological condition. We talked about gynecological diseases a few weeks ago. We talk about periods. When we regulate periods, we often need to regulate the liver function, especially women in the middle age. They have a lot of stress in their life. They have younger to take care of, and they have their elderly parents need to take care, and they have their job. And the woman, you know, at that age, middle age, they have a lot of liver stagnation, can cause period problem, PMS. So at that time, we really regulate the liver. That's the liver, another function. And the liver, you know, open orifice, the liver opens the eye. So the eyes are the orifice of the liver. So some problem of the eyes, you always think about liver. Okay, so the tendons, the fingernails or toenails are related with the liver. So if you notice all my fingernails are a little bit like a lot of ridges, and the color does not look good, and kind of easy to kind of frigid, it's related with the liver. Your liver blood is not good. You need to think about the treatment from Chinese medicine perspective. You need to think about liver. Only find liver blood, liver yin. Another thing, the tendons, you know, as acupuncturist, we see a lot of patients have, you know, muscular skeleton problem, tendon problem, tendonitis, especially the elderly, you know, because their kidney and the liver function declined. Let's look at the 5 elements, the picture here. So you look at the water, which is the kidney, and wood, which is the liver. So you look at the relationship of liver and kidney. So the water generates wood. It's a mother and son's relationship.
The mother's water.
Yeah, water is a kidney. Yeah, if there's a kidney deficiency and the kidney cannot supply the wood, the liver, so people, you know, have kidney diseases as easy impact the liver. Sometimes like kidney, liver, yin deficiency together. And then if the liver has a problem and the child or the son had a problem, that will drain the energy of the mother.
Okay.
So when we have talk about chronic liver diseases, in the end, definitely kidney is involved. Both kidney and the liver being involved. So you look at another element, the metal, which is a lung. So the lung and then the wood has the relationship is the metal overact on the wood. Normally it's a little bit act to the wood is okay, but if the too strong metal element and can overact on wood. In the clinic, we more often see the wood insults the metal. For example, people have liver disease or liver T stagnation, too much energy of the liver. And then the liver insults the lung. It can cause cough. It can cause some lung problem. And then you look at the wood and the fire relationship. So wood, fire. One is liver, another one is heart. So fire is heart. When there is a liver problem, and the mother can impact the son. Very often in the clinic for liver diseases, people have liver fire, or we call minister fire.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it can cause emperor fire, which is heart fire. So people have more heat, fire, and those elements can combine together. This is a basic theory of liver, and then the liver element can impact all other 4 elements. In other words, if liver has a problem, it can impact other 4 organ, heart, spleen, kidney, and lung. So this is a theory. I think we probably need to talk about the chronic liver disease.
Yeah. So,
It's quite common problem. The liver diseases I think in Asia, more hepatitis.
okay.
Is especially hepatitis B. Very common I'm sure in China, a lot of people have it. So I think Taiwan and Hong Kong, Singapore, all those areas, people have hepatitis B, chronic one. Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver cells. So we have hepatitis A, B, and C. So hepatitis A can quickly recover. It usually is acute situation. I think about maybe 2 decades ago, and Shanghai has a pandemic of hepatitis A.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, all the Chinese herbs were sold. I mean, the herbs for antivirus, like in Chenhao, like daqingye, balangan, all those herbs are used just like a COVID-19. I think some herbs we are difficult to get.
Were they using like Longdan Shigantan?
Yeah, they use different kind of formulas according to the patterns. I think generally speaking, it shows more like damp heat. It's a jaundice. Yes. People have like jaundice, reduced appetite, and the liver is inflamed. And generally speaking, if you get a good rest and get treatment, and people quickly recover. But hepatitis B is chronic. And hepatitis B very, very common in China. I used to work in Guangzhou, which is southern China. You cannot imagine how many people get it. A lot of people don't know until they got liver cirrhosis or even liver failure.
Yeah.
Because it's a chronic one, and they may get it from, most of the time from eating, and those virus stuff, it can spread when you eat. And then hepatitis B, and all the hepatitis we have the vaccine immunization. Hepatitis B, we use vaccine can prevent it. But it's a bad thing that people like mother has that one, it can spread in the kids and baby. But nowadays, because we know this virus very well, that the prevention is pretty good, and we can prevent the young generation get it. I think more less people get the problem. Before it's very common. And hepatitis C, I think we in the States, we have some people got this problem.
Oh, Dr. Lee, I'm reading from liverfoundation.org. It says that an estimated 2.7 to 3.9 million people in the United States have hepatitis C, chronic hepatitis C.
Yeah. Hepatitis C, I think mainly related with people use drug. They inject drug, people share the needles. It's a blood-borne virus, so it can be spread through the needle. They share the needle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad, and people use that they didn't know. And hepatitis C, just like hepatitis B, easy to be chronic one and damage the liver organ, and gradually got the liver, fibrosis, and then liver cirrhosis, and last stage is liver failure. So this is hepatitis A, B, C common. In the States, more like hepatitis C. But when as acupuncturist, we always consider universal precaution. We just need to wash our hands. We consider people have this problem because You never know. A lot of people even don't know they got hepatitis infection. Okay, another common liver problem in the States is alcoholic liver disease. So you'll probably notice a lot of alcoholism, you know, that people drink too much alcohol, they gradually damage the liver, and then the liver fibrosis happen, and then the liver cirrhosis, right, and then failure. That's common. I think this is a preventable if they stop drinking, and then they'll be fine. But some people they just continue to do it. I think another one is fatty liver disease.
Right.
This one is not terrible like hepatitis or alcoholic liver disease. This kind of liver disease definitely it can still cause a liver problem if they continue like gain weight and don't do exercise, especially if they together with some diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and it will make the condition worse because a lot of fat cells occupies the livers, you know, and it can squeeze the tissue of the normal liver cells. It can definitely cause big problem. That one is a preventable, you know, people just need eat healthy, exercises, and lose weight. I think that's important to do that healthy lifestyle. And another one, and it's not very common, but I've seen some patients, is autoimmune hepatitis. It's some autoimmune problem cause liver inflammation. I saw patients who had this problem in Ocam clinic. And another thing, maybe some chemical expose, right, you know, long-term chemical expose, they don't know. Or sometimes people can get acute liver failure just because the toxin. Yeah. So like mushroom, toxic mushroom, or those kind of things can quickly cause liver failure. That's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, but here we more talk about chronic liver diseases, and we often see patients in the clinic.
Yeah, the ethereal soul, the hun, you know, the spiritual aspect of the liver, and what that means for the difference between the body, the corporeal body, which is controlled by the lung, the po, and the liver, which is the ethereal, the hun. Because I'm thinking of this because while we are introducing the general public to concepts of Chinese medicine, and whether they know they have a liver disease or not, what I think some people could relate to would be like something very tangible, like, oh, everybody experiences something like anger, you know, and so like, what does that do then to your ethereal soul, and how does that affect kind of the psyche of the mind? I think there's just a lot going on right now in the world, and people are angry, they're concerned, they're upset, and we've seen, you know, the value that Chinese medicine has placed on emotional health and wellness as well, and how there's 7 different emotions in Chinese medicine, and they can also all be an etiology or a beginning of disease in the body.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think the emotional condition is we Chinese medicine very, you know, emphasize that, and acupuncture, Chinese herbs works very well. I often heard people, you know, after acupuncture say, "Oh, I feel so relaxed," and some people even during the treatment they are just, you know, tearing. They just feel they're kind of emotionally released. You know, from 5 elements perspective, the 5 elements related with the emotional condition you just mentioned, like wood, for the emotional condition, it's related with anger.
Okay.
So when the people have liver problem, they are easy to lose their temper. The wood is a main element for the emotional condition or emotional disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
But we will say the heart is the main. Heart in the mood, I think is the joy, right?
That's
Happiness.
good.
Yeah, happy and joy. Yeah. So you can see this beautiful picture here.
That's a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
You see that?
yeah, the fire is hyper, joyful, and then the earth is like your
Intellect, your mind.
intellect, your thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the metal is your like sadness and the grief, right? It's related. And the water is fear, right? And then the wood is anger.
Mm-hmm.
So when people have stress, we often see people have stress in the clinic, right? And the stress we just mentioned is a wood element related. So stress can cause liver qi stagnation. Stress can cause liver fire, like people angry, people depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wood, the liver overacting on earth and can cause spleen problem. Right. And then the people may be warrior, think about things all the time, overthinking, they cannot sleep well. So this is we call liver overacting on spleen. Mm-hmm. And the liver have fire or heat, and the people are, depressed, maybe anxious. Mm-hmm. It can impact the heart. Yeah. Or the liver have the heat and the fire, and then it impact the heart. Heart is a fire element, and then people have, not joyful. It's just the opposite. Mm-hmm. Or they have fire, liver fire and heart fire together. And then you look at people's tongue, the tip of tongue is red, and the margin of the tongue is red. That's the location of liver and heart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If the people have the mental problem, the liver can impact insult lungs, mm-hmm. and cause maybe some sadness. People grieve, especially those emotions. During the COVID-19, people worry, stressful, depressed, sadness if they have some friends or family member got those problems. Those 5 elements just hooked together, it can cause a lot of imbalance, not only physically, but emotionally.
Definitely. I'd like to also share a picture of the channel.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the better ones that I found, since it's the acupuncture doll.
Mm-hmm.
So we can at least see one side, but mm-hmm. the liver channel actually starts at the big toe, which, for people who have never seen acupuncture, they have no idea that this is even happening in their body. This starts on the outside of your large toe, like the large toenail, and travels up the top of the foot in between the big toe and the second toe, kind of coming up the leg here, the inside of your leg, and up to the inside of your thigh. And then it actually wraps around the genitals, whatever gender, and then comes up the trunk of the body here and ends on the rib cage, which is also typically a very tender point, right? Like if we're doing palpation in the clinic, that's usually it can be a tender point. And this is something, when I was an acupuncture intern, I would treat this a lot, especially even with asthmatic patients. This is the diaphragm area. So to just like release and relax this area, kind of allowed the lung qi to descend too, I noticed. So
yeah, liver 14 is a very important point. Even in Shanghai Lun, everybody knows Shanghai Lun more just talk about herbs, formulas. But Zhang Zongjing used liver 14. And they said 四七门, which means needling the liver 14 is good to soothing the liver. And then the liver 13 is the midpoint of all the Zhang organs. So very important one too. I think we mentioned that in the first couple of topics.
Yeah.
We say, oh, you can do massage liver 13.
Right. Yeah.
Very good for soothing the liver.
Yeah, and just to reiterate for people, let me go back to the nice photo. When we say Zhang organs, we mean the yin organs. For people who have not heard it, so each of the 5 elements has a yin and yang, or a Zhang and a Fu pair. So when we say yin organs, we mean heart and pericardium for the fire. That's the only one that has 2. Earth is the spleen, metal is the lungs, water is the kidneys, and wood is the liver. So those are the Zhang organs for folks to help folks remember.
Since Joy just mentioned the points, and we can do acupressure for the liver problem. You can do the liver 3 too. That's very commonly used point, which is Yuan Shao's point of liver. We use Yuan Shao's point to treat Zhang organs problem.
Yeah.
You can combine with the Back Shu point of liver, and that's commonly used. I think we can talk a little bit about the diet.
Oh yes.
And then the Chinese herb treatment for chronic liver problem. I think the chronic diseases, to be honest, the liver problem, generally speaking, we have stage 1 to stage 4 in Western medicine perspective. And stage 1 is just early stage of liver damage. It's a kind of just the inflammation. And this one is reversible, just like I mentioned, the acute one, you can, after treatment, rest and regulate your diet, and people can totally recover from the liver's hepatitis. Yeah. And then the stage 2 is fibrosis start. The liver kind of starts scarring. It's the liver organs is easy to be like scarring fibrosis. And then in the end, it's kind of mass. It's all like scar tissue and damage the liver cells, the liver function units. And then the stage 3, severe scarring and lead to cirrhosis. And the stage 4 is a liver failure stage. And then for the stage 3 and 4, unfortunately, it's incurable. People just live with it. So very important to, maintain it. Keep it stable, or make it a little bit better, not make it getting worse so fast. So the lifestyle is very important. You can get Chinese medicine treatment, herbs, helpful, but I think very important is you pay attention to your lifestyle. So first, you have to avoid alcohol. Don't drink it, because liver is organ to detoxify the thing. Anything with toxic, it can quickly damage the liver. So, and that's why people like alcoholism got the liver problem. So, and the diet, you need to eat balanced diet. So some fish, raw food, like raw fish, raw seafood, and shellfish, those things try not to eat. raw food, because you don't know that it's cooked wild food is good to kill all the thing there.
Yeah.
And the shellfish have more chemicals there.
Yeah.
Like mercury.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I think, because the pollution getting worse and worse, those shellfish have more heavy metal thing.
Yeah.
It will damage your liver. So try to avoid that. Get appropriate amount of protein and a good quality of protein.
Yeah.
When the liver goes to a little bit severe stage, a failure stage, and the people need a professional instruction, and professional service like a nutritionist, and to tell them what kind of food they cannot eat, how much, how many grams of protein they need. It's very important. And the doctor, they will give them a suggestion too. Another thing, be very, very careful with medication, including any supplements.
Yes.
So because those things goes to the liver, it may potentially damage the liver. And then get doctors approval for all medications, even including some supplements. Talk to the doctor. And I think here some people see different kind of doctors, alternative medicine doctors. So they got a lot of supplements, a lot of medication. I just thought, even you're healthy, you have good liver. If you take all those things, it will a big burden to your liver, right? Yeah. Be careful and talk to your doctor and cut back some of them, and especially avoid the medicine. And definitely, there's evidence shows it will damage the liver.
I have a question for you, Dr. Lee. For people who are watching, I had a lot of patients in the clinic who would do things like liver cleanses. And I think people might want to know like an opinion on that, like we're in this time of pause. So some people might be, trying to maintain their health or get healthier. And they might be considering like a liver cleanse or something like that. Have you had any experience with patients that do this? And what's your Chinese medical opinion about something like that?
I'm okay with if my patient want to do that, because there's a lot of practitioners offer that, and people do it. I don't think it will damage the liver function. It will just clean the. I don't think those kind of people really have liver diseases.
Yeah.
If they have chronic liver diseases, I definitely will be cautious. I will just tell them, you'd better talk to your doctor.
Yes, that's a wonderful point.
Yeah, because if you have normal liver function, if you do those things, you take something, or you're fasting for a while, I don't think that's a big problem, because your liver function can handle that. And then people feel clear, like, because they do after the fasting or liver cleansing, they feel good. I'm very hesitant to tell people stop doing it, but if they have diseases, chronic liver diseases, I won't be the one tell them don't do it. I will just refer to the doctor.
Yeah.
Because remember, as acupuncturist, we do not practice those things. This is not the scope of our practice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because we have the knowledge, or let the patient refer to the doctor and let doctor make the decision.
Great advice. Thank you for clarifying that. Is there anything else you'd like to add or talk about?
Oh, yes. I just want to tell people, chronic liver disease, in addition to the lifestyle, and we have some dietary therapy. We have Chinese herb therapy. dietary therapy, so easier. You can use, take wolfberry and
Oh,
go
yeah.
cheese.
Yeah.
When you cook soup, and when you drink tea, if you have more heat, liver heat or liver fire, and then you can drink goat cheese and Guohui, chrysanthemum, and wolfberry tea. It's so easy.
Yeah.
And the wolfberry, you can eat it, but definitely not chrysanthemum.
Yeah.
And then some strawberry is good for liver.
Oh,
I think berries are good.
yeah.
Good for and the yiren
Mm-hmm.
is good for the dampness and the heat and good for sleep. People have a chronic liver and gallbladder problem, so they have more dampness and heat, and shows in the tongue thick, yellow, greasy coating, and their pulse wiry. So since I think Joy, you just mentioned and Zhang the Fu in the beginning, the gallbladder.
Huh?
So liver and gallbladder hooked together is an interior-exterior relationship. And in the clinic, we often see people have gallbladder problem. Chinese medicine works so well for gallbladder problem.
This is the acupuncture chart for the gallbladder channel. So remember that the liver channel was on the inside of the body, like this is your outside or your lateral side, and then inside is the medial part of your body. And this gallbladder channel actually starts here at the top, at the face, at the corner of the eye, the outside of the eye, and travels all along your head and down your back. Your shoulder, like to right here, like top of your shoulder, and then comes around to the lateral side of your body. So when we are talking about the gallbladder, I like that it's called a curious organ too in Chinese medicine, because it has Zhang and Fu functions. That means it's the yang pair in the wood element to the liver, yin pair, but the gallbladder, when we like the function of the gallbladder in Western medicine, right? It holds bile, and that's what it means also to be a Fu organ. It stores like yin organs do, but then it also releases or dumps like a Fu organ, like the intestines.
So the gallbladder is a extraordinary organ too. Mm-hmm. Because it kind of part like Zhang organ, because it hold essence such like bile, and by the discharge the bile. So it's a extraordinary organ.
Yeah.
So the gallbladder, I think, use Chinese medicine and acupuncture. We can definitely release a lot of gallbladder problem. Maybe avoid some surgery. Mm-hmm, yeah. I'm more conservative. I don't like surgery. Nowadays, people remove gallbladder is very kind of small surgery, because it's so easy. And then they just I do it. But personally, I really don't like it. Yeah. I would like try Chinese medicine. We have a lot of formulas. It's really good for gallbladder inflammation or even gallbladder stone. If it's small stone, we can use herbs just to get rid of those stones. I think the go back to the dietary therapy, there's another commonly used thing is tianma. The tianma you can cook together with chicken. Okay. Tianma is good for liver yang rising. Mm-hmm. And so if people have liver problem, have bad mood, mm-hmm. liver yang rising. Yeah, you can do the tianma. And some people maybe have dizziness, vertigo, and tianma cooking with chicken.
Yes, and I would say too that tianma that can be found. I think it can be found in your Asian grocery store. No.
It's a very expensive one.
Yeah.
A lot of people know the dietary therapy. They bought it. People use it for hypertension too.
Okay.
Because we consider hypertension as kind of liver yang rising. Some people have those patterns, and then use tianma cooking with like chicken soup. I think the liver disease, we should clear liver, soothing liver, nourish the liver. If the liver qi stagnation, we will soothing liver, moving the qi. We have commonly used formula like 逍遥丸. If there's a heat, we can use 丹栀逍遥丸. That's two formulas very good for the liver overacting on spleen, stomach, and not just liver symptom, including digestive condition.
I like that formula too, the 逍遥丸, because we have used that clinically for things like treating depressed feelings. We've used that for even gynecological issues. Back to the dietary, for folks who may be unfamiliar, most of these things can be found in Asian grocery stores. Some of these things can be found in Whole Foods or your local grocer. Yi Ren is Job's tears for the English colloquial name. Wolfberry is also known as goji berry. So people, I think, are really familiar with that one. Guohui is chrysanthemum. So like Dr. Lee said, you can't eat it, but you could steep it as a tea. That's really good. Guohui is also very good for people who have eye infections. Like if they have like a sty, I don't know what you call this in Chinese medicine. What do you call a sty? Like something like a big like knot in your eye. But if you took dried chrysanthemum and put it in like a hot compress and put it on your eyes, it can take inflammation away. And then again, the tianma is gastrodia.
I want to say something about the chronic liver disease because it's a severe condition.
Yes.
And people have alcoholic liver disease. Don't touch the alcohol. And there's another thing, and medication, very important to consult doctor and make decision and take few medication. If it's really necessary, do it. And even including the supplements. And people with liver diseases need to do the exercises, not too strenuous. Like if your body can handle it, you do not feel exhausted, like gentle, mild, and like Tai Chi, Qigong, walking, those exercises. And people overweight, and because they have fatty liver diseases, definitely care of that part. Yes. Lose weight.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very important. And if they lose weight, and then maybe their condition can be much better, maybe part of like reversible, because this one is not as bad as other liver diseases.
Yeah.
But it's very, very common because the overweight, obesity is a big problem of this country.
Definitely. I've seen this too in the clinic. Somebody might come in for something non-related, right? You've seen this before too, where a patient would come in and they would have, say they would get headaches or they had like they have a very stressful, high stress job. And they also might be overweight. And when you start treating, like the things for like the anger and the stress, these other things that allows the body to relax. I think that's something that people should know is when we're treating, just seemingly one thing in the body, Chinese medicine is a whole medical system. And so it's also treating the entire body, like mind and spirit. It's not just the one problem. It's actually working on your entire self. So you're going to see other results too that you might not have even come in for. I think that was the most wonderful surprise for me with Chinese medicine. Well, thank you, Dr. Lee. This was really informative, I think, for people. I think more people need to know what Chinese medicine can treat, especially with chronic diseases. This was great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.